NFL field? Y'all gonna put me on? From a personality standpoint, TJ is gonna talk. He's gonna tell you exactly how he feels. Wake up, Cam! Wake up, Cam! Wake up! TJ Ward! Yo, what's good? It's your boy TJ Ward, and we back here with Safety First. Hey, do me a favor. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Hit the button, tap in with me. Safety First Show. All right, let's start today off with the Fanatics Flag Football Classic that was held at BMO Stadium this weekend. It consisted of the U.S. Men's National Flag Football Team as one squad, and the other squads were the Founders FFC and the Wildcats FFC. What were comprised of current players, retired players, and international, what they call them, influencers. Yeah, these days, influencers or internet personalities are now celebrities, today's celebrities. They're like the Hollywood stars back in the day. Anyway, it was everybody there. It was a real life party. Even your boy was there. I was there, man. You had guys like Speed playing in the game. You had Logan Paul, who put on the game, Tom Brady, the GOAT Tom Brady in that thing. Had some current players like Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts played in there, Jaden Daniels played, old school Rob Gronkowski played in there, Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham, you know, Devontae Smith, some of your favorite players, right? My dog Von Miller, Luke Kuechly. Star-studded roster from top to bottom, man. Patrick Peterson, Derwin James. You know, Terrence Crawford was there. He was out there in a white beater. I didn't see him play, but obviously retired from the sport. But, you know, he was out there too. So it was a star-studded event. It was definitely along the lines of a party/charity event. And, you know, I've been to a lot of those. So it was definitely very lighthearted and fun. But the U.S. men's national team came and played no games. They played no games. They outscored both teams with, 100-44, something like that. They won every game, ended up winning the championship. So it was like a tournament style in which, you know, the format was presented. I thought it was just, you know, U.S. men's national team versus one team, but it was ended up being three teams. And, you know, your boy had courtside access. I was right there on the field, got to see everything front row and center. And you know what? They did a hell of a job, man. Fanatics, if you know anything about Fanatics, you know, whatever they do, whether it's at the Super Bowl, whether it's flag football, whether it's, you know, any event, their owner loves to have fun. And another thing he loves to do is entertain and be around entertainers. So everybody was there. Anyway, let's get back to some action on the field. The field was condensed to the flag football national standard, which is about, I would say, a third of the size of an NFL field. It's very small, very narrow, and it's not 120 yards like your traditional NFL field. It's not 52 yards wide like your traditional football field. Therefore, everything happens very quickly. And I would say that if you were not prepared to play in the manner of which the USA flag football team plays that game, you are ill prepared. But nonetheless, I do not believe for 1 second that my guys, meaning my NFL brothers, were out there playing 100%. First off, let's get that right. Second off, the teams that were solidified for this thing was not teams that were put together to actually win a flag football game. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, the flag football, the USA flag football men's, who, you know, led by their quarterback, Darrell Hoosh Doucette III, man, good quarterback. You know, they did their thing. They had their tricks. They understood the rules. You know, it was very entertaining to be there and see it live for the first time. I never really watched flag football before that, but, you know, it's flag football, so I was just assuming it was just normal football with flags, but it wasn't, so I was, you know, mistaken. But, man, the techniques, were there. The athleticism was there. You seen our guys show out a little bit, whether it was Devontae Smith or Odell Beckham out there one-handing catches, and Joe Burrow was out there running around. Brady was throwing some dots. Jaden Daniel was throwing some dots. So it was all in all a good fun. But to say that this was competitive and that the NFL, who said that? Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard. Come on, man. I seen your tweet, brother. You was taking it too far, man. You a little hard on the Beaver. Like, oh, the NFL got embarrassed. This is like G League players beating NBA players. Like, come on, brother. Didn't the G League slam dunk contest guy just win the NBA slam dunk contest 2 years ago? Mac, right? Mac McCall, whatever his name is. So didn't they just win like a 3-point contest too? I don't know, but when you compete and these are extracurricular events for the sake of fun, making it more than it is definitely not needed. So, but I like Chris Broussard, man. I like your commentary. I like your analysis, but you were way left field with that one, man. This is like, what do I say? Pickleball to tennis, ping pong to tennis. It's not the same game at all. It looks similar, but it's not the same game whatsoever. And to be frank, everyone playing flag football from the U.S. national team has tried to be an NFL player at some point in their lives. It's not like they grew up saying, hey, I want to play flag football. No, they absolutely didn't. Everyone dreams to be NFL players. And if you ask me or ask anybody else, if we were comprising a NFL flag football team, we would build that with a bunch of different players, smaller, faster, more elusive guys. We'd have smaller nickel type guys on defense. Man, we was out there with Luke Kuechly, Von Miller, Logan Paul. Like, these big brolic guys were not built to play flag football. Now, if you want to put the Tyreek Hills out there, the Achans out there, or maybe Jahmyr Gibbs, very elusive guy, Turbin for the Cowboys, McDougal that the Rams just signed, nickelbacks in that mold, we would do a lot better. They had Harrison Smith out there, the hitman. He wanted to hit some shit. He ain't trying to pull no flags, right? So to go overboard, above and beyond, to disrespect my NFL brothers, I took it personal because we know damn well that was not an end-all, be-all game. Like, is this the tryout for the USA Olympics flag football team? No. Now, saying that, I do respect their game and I respect the players that are on that team. And I do think that they should represent us as a whole in the Olympics. Now, do we have a couple players, retired or not, or, trying to get back in the league like Odell Beckham, who I think it was some rumblings out there saying that he might try to join that team? Yeah, they could help that team. But, hey, man, the NFL is a multi-hundred-million-billion-dollar business, man. These guys got to get ready for training camp. It's right in the middle of summer towards fall. We got things to do. We got things to do when you repping that shield, man. We can't be out there playing flag football and risking these $1 million contracts to go play flag football. Now, a gold medal is amazing, right? But you cannot feed your family with a medal. Now, you may get some things from that medal, but like endorsements and other things, and it's great to say that we competed in the Olympics, and it's always been a dream of football players to compete in the Olympics because we are the sport that they don't have in the Olympics. They got basketball, they got baseball, and every other sport you can compete in the Olympics. You know why they don't have football in the Olympics? First off, because it's an American sport, but so is basketball. Second off, we would dominate so bad it'd be disgusting. There would be no chance of any other country beating us in football. No chance. It'd be worse than the dream team and playing the rest of the country. Now, you could say for what reason we started it. Who cares? Other countries are playing it. But as a whole, there is no other country on this planet, in this galaxy, in this realm that could fuck with us in football. And they'd have to just give us the gold medal every year, point blank period, man. You got the USA team and the Redeemed Dream team because they was getting their ass whooped and all other type of shit. So in basketball, it's not to say we just dominate because other countries, caught up real fast to basketball. 20 years they done caught up. But in football, it might take them 100 years, man. Hey, you already know, man. I'm going to take my NFL brethrens all day in anything related to football. Just give us a little bit of time and put the right roster together, right? You ain't going to put, if you run at 12 personnel, you're not going to put Tyreek Hill at guard, right? You wouldn't put me at center. Right, so let's make it make sense here, man. Hey, but shout out to the USA national flag football team, man. Y'all did y'all thing. Can't wait to see you in the Olympics this summer and representing USA the right way. Hey, and get that gold, baby. Bring it home, man. USA. Now, let's get to Michael Jordan, man. I know we're going to flip it real quick to basketball. I said basketball. Look, Michael Jordan is out here winning NASCAR races. Well, he ain't driving, but he's the owner. So Michael Jordan is the owner, right? Michael Jordan, 23 Racing. And he has won 4 races in 6 race span. His driver, Tyler Reddick, has won 2 races in 2023, the COTA and the Chicago Street Race. He's won 2 races in 2024, which was Talladega, the Geico 500, and the Homestead Straight Talk Wireless 400. Hey, greatness don't stop. Don't take a day off. When you great, like MJ has been, and you have a protocol and you have a way of conducting yourself day in and day out, it's going to bleed into other things that you do. Now, Jordan has been owning this team since 2020, and they tried. Then he was just suing their ass. He just sued NASCAR and won because they were doing some crooked shit. They was doing something crooked to hold him back, to hold the black man back, and Jordan sued their ass and he won. And after he won that suit, been kicking ass ever since. So whatever he sued their ass for, it worked. It may have been something like collusion or something. Something where they was gaining up like, we can't let this motherfucker come in here. He already dominated the NBA. He already dominated the shoe game. We cannot let him come to the deep south and take over. God damn it, we can't. So Jordan said, forget that, I'm taking y'all to court. Went to court and won. And let me tell you something about winning. Winning is a culture. We talk about it all the time in football, especially in championship caliber teams. You come into an organization and it's a culture. It's not one day of this, one day of that, a week of this, a week of that, a month of this. It's not year in this and off this year. It's a culture. A culture is something that happens 24/7, 7 days a week. And it's the way you do things. It's winning principles and it's winning habits. So shout out to MJ 23 Racing. NASCAR in trouble, man. Hey, NASCAR is in trouble, and I love to see it. I love to see us growing in different facets in different sports, man. When I was playing for the Broncos, I went out to Furniture Road Racing. The team, I don't believe it exists anymore, but it was a Denver team, and I got the opportunity to kick it. Furniture Racing invited me out to a race out here in Los Angeles, California, and I got to meet the owners. Well, first off, I got to go to their facility in Denver. It was dope. I got some pictures. I'm going to try to post them for you. I'm going to send them to Mello. I got to go to the facility, get in the car, and hop through the window, and that thing is tight. It's hot in there. You can't breathe. Shout out to them drivers, man, because that shit is not an easy environment to be racing 400 to 200 laps around some shit, and you in a full jumpsuit with a helmet on, and it's hot. It's not a good environment, but they fight through it and they get through it. But anyway, I got to go down there to the pit crew. Yeah, the pit crew. We got to go down with the pit crew while the race was going on. They changing tires and in and out. They come in, they pull out. Hey, very exhilarating. Very exhilarating experience. Hey, if you haven't been to a NASCAR race, I suggest you try one time in your life at least. And my dog, speaking of that, my dog Josh Bush, Super Bowl champion with us, he works with a pit crew right now. Because pit crews, if you didn't know this, in NASCAR racing, they love to recruit ex-college football players, ex-college athletes, because who's the best athletes in this world? Football players. I keep telling y'all this. Football players are the best athletes in the world. Period. So, hey, man, exhilarating. Once again, congratulations to MJ and his team. And, he won a race back with Bubba Wallace back in 2021, which was also Talladega Nights or Yellowwood 500 in Talladega. Yeah, and Tyler Reddick, man, doing your thing too as a racer, bro. Keep putting on, man. Shout out to y'all. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, better known as JSN, just signed a brand new contract, $168 million with his team, the Seattle Seahawks, 120 guaranteed. That is an average of $42.15 million per year, with a signing bonus of $35 million just to put his name. Hey, congratulations to JSN. Obviously, has proven to be one of the best receivers in this league. You could put him up there with Puka. You could put him up there with Pickens, Justin Jefferson, Chase, CeeDee Lamb. He's one of those guys, right? And if you're one of these teams, obviously a player like this makes your offense so explosive and gives you the ability to target one receiver at any given moment and have success. Now, the hard part. Does paying JSN keep the probability for the Seahawks as repeat Super Bowl champions high? Does this make them better? Does this make them worse? Does it keep them the same? Now, if you ask me, you need a number one receiver. You need that. But is making your number one receiver the highest paid receiver in the league keep your probability for winning the Super Bowl high? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. The reason I say no, because we all know that Seattle defense got them over the hump and made them Super Bowl champions last year. We all know that Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, deadly in the playoffs for them, along with their defense, kept Sam Darnold from having to do too much, right? A lot of people talked about how Sam Darnold lucked into this Super Bowl championship. I thought Sam Darnold had an excellent season, and especially during the playoffs, limited his turnovers. You know why he was able to limit his turnovers? Because he didn't have to throw the ball as much. Sam Darnold really didn't have to throw the ball much at all season because of the way they ran the ball and the way they played defense. And the times that he did have to get the ball up only to compete with the high-powered offense with the Rams, mostly in their own division, is the times he turned the ball over. Turned the ball over 3 times when they played the Rams in SoFi. He turned the ball over another 2 times in the win up in Seattle, right? Didn't turn the ball over in the playoffs. Did a great job because they were able to capitalize off of, what do we talk about all the time? Taking the points when they're there. Excellent field goal kicker. When the points presented themselves, Coach Mike McDonald usually, mostly, always took the points. That's what happened in the playoffs. When they got into the Super Bowl against a stout run defense, they were able to run the ball. Most importantly, with the efforts of their running back, Kenneth Walker. Now, Even when guys went unblocked for the Patriots, even when guys went unblocked for the Rams, even when guys went unblocked for the Niners, Kenneth Walker made the plays. He beat the one-on-one, whether it was in the hole, whether it was getting outside of containment, whether it was catching the ball out the backfield. He made a lot of plays where a lot of times there were no plays to be made. Now, I absolutely love JSN as a wide receiver. Runs excellent routes, catches the ball well, made some critical catches on third down, one-handed catches. But I don't think, for me at least, I would have paid a receiver top dollar. I would have rather have retained my running back. If you were going to pay somebody, I would have retained my running back. And I know in this past happy era, in this past prominent era, the running back position is not as sexy. But let me read you guys some names and some teams that I'm going to just let you guys do the math, right? Seahawks, they were able to pay him because they just won a Super Bowl. They had some flexibility. They just won a Super Bowl on his rookie deal, right? He was on his rookie deal. That's why they were able to win the Super Bowl. They put a great team in place with a low salary, and they were able to win the Super Bowl. When you win, things change. Players got to get paid. Beds got to get made. And that's what happened with the Seahawks. That's why it's so hard in this day and age to repeat. Because whether a player is worth it when you win, these players are going to command top dollar. Now, the highest paid receivers now is JSN, right? Jamar Chase. When the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, Jamar Chase was still in his rookie contract. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. We can look it up. If we do, scratch this. But I believe Jamar Chase was still in his rookie contract. Now, Justin Jefferson, highest paid. Look at the Minnesota Vikings. No playoffs. You look at the Bengals. No playoffs. You look at CeeDee Lamb, $34 million this year, and they have Pickens with the franchise tag. And they have the highest paid quarterback in this league. Guess what? No playoffs. Pittsburgh Steelers paid DK Metcalf $33 annually. Back end of the playoffs. Garrett Wilson, New York Jets. No playoffs. Terry McLaurin, Commanders. Now, before Terry got that big-ass contract, they were in an NFC championship. Last year, he got hurt, so did their quarterback got hurt. Guess what? No playoffs. A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles, $32 million. I believe when he got paid, they ended up winning the Super Bowl. They did, right? They just won it 2 years ago. Won a Super Bowl. But the defense was stacked. And if you ask me, I don't know how they did it. Is Jalen Hurts still on this rookie deal? Hell no. Underpaid quarterback. So Jalen Hurts, second round draft pick. Yeah, the Eagles are the only ones that look. I don't know what they doing over there, Rose with that GM, but they paid top dollar for a receiver, top dollar for a quarterback, and top dollar for two receivers. Paid the defense, who was top 5. They won the Super Bowl, so this list excludes them. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Detroit Lions. They missed the playoffs this year, right? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers. He didn't even play. He got hurt, and he's out the window. So if you look at this list, the Eagles paid A.J. Brown the same year they won. And ever since they paid him, they've been declining. Am I right or am I wrong? So when you pay these guys top dollar, you better win the Super Bowl that year or the year before. Because having to pay them and the quarterback means that you're going to decline like the Detroit Lions, right? No playoffs this year. Like the San Francisco 49ers, they made the playoffs and beat Philly, but the rest of the team and the rest of them injuries, catastrophic. Catastrophic. So I'm just looking at the pattern here. Paying these receivers as number one receiver in the league means you don't have as much money to spread. And if you pay this number one receiver, that means your quarterback is probably also making top dollar. So when you look at the Cowboys, when you look at the Bengals, they don't have money to spread, and especially to the positions or the side of the ball where you need the money to go to win a championship, and that's the defense. I talk about this all the time. You can look amazing during the regular season. Just high flying, action all day, but what are you doing in the playoffs, even if you make the playoffs? We look at teams that don't have bona fide top-end paid guys. The Denver Broncos, AFC Championship. The New England Patriots, AFC Championship. Super Bowl. The Chicago Bears, quarterback, haven't had to pay a receiver yet. Divisional. The Packers, they don't spend too much money on a receiver. Divisional. Now the Rams, they're going to have to come up and they're going to have to pay Puka. If they pay Puka, guess what's going to happen? You will not see them in the NFC Championship like they were last year. They were in the NFC Championship because one of their best players and their receiver is on his rookie deal. Soon as you pay these receivers, you're going to decline in productivity because they demand so much money. And if you can't run the ball, you're not going anywhere in the playoffs. The Rams were able to run the ball. The Bears able to run the ball. The Broncos weren't great at it, but we had the number one defense. The Patriots able to run the ball during the playoffs. And when they weren't able to run the ball in the Super Bowl, they looked atrocious. Literally atrocious. The Niners, they mixed and matched everything. They did everything they could. But at the end of the day, they paid Ayuk, who wasn't even on the field and nowhere to be found. DK and the Pittsburgh Steelers can't run the ball, can't pass the ball. Defense falling off this earth. Can't turn the ball over. You're not going to be successful. You look at the Ravens, right? The Ravens, who do a great job of not paying receivers and have a healthy Lamar Jackson and a healthy running back, they're going deep in the playoffs every year. So people actually get on the Ravens for not having a number one receiver. But I say, hey, it seems to work for them. If they tight ends could just catch the ball in clutch moments, they too would be in the Super Bowl. You play defense, you run the ball, and you find a top-end receiver. You don't have to have a top 10 receiver. You find some capable receivers, or you find a top-end receiver in his rookie contract, and you work through that rookie contract. And when it's time to pay him, you do it all over again. If you have a good draft process, if you have a good culture, a good winning organization, a good culture within your organization, it's going to duplicate itself. You don't have to overextend and pay these receivers. Now, do these receivers deserve to get paid? Absolutely. If you out there balling, you deserve to get paid. But if I am a GM, I'm not paying the receiver number one receiver money. If you come up, I'm going to find a new receiver. Because the last time I checked, ain't no Jerry Rices. You got Jamar Chase, who's doing numbers, don't get me wrong. They paid T. Higgins. They paid the quarterback. No playoffs. Everyone is so enamored by this high-powered offense when they need to be building an immovable defense. An unmovable defense. You're better off winning it all. Can you make the playoffs with paying these guys? Yes, you can. Will you get deep in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl with these guys? No, you won't. It's just not happening. When the Patriots had the most explosive offense in the league, Randy Moss and all this other stuff, guess who they lost to? The Giants, who had no number one receiver. They had a bunch of guys out there. Defense, pass rush, get to the ball, create pressure. That's what these teams need to be trying to build. Instead of trying to build the Harlem Globetrotters and make everybody a highlight reel. Can it work in the regular season? Yes, it looks terrific. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, it's not going to work. When it gets cold and ugly, it's not going to work. And you see it year in and year out. But regardless, it's fun football. Shout out to JSN. Puka's next. Justin Jefferson for what he's done. Jamar Chase. All you guys. CeeDee Lamb. No, they're exciting to watch. They make big plays. They make an offense more powerful. A one hit and go. I got a number one target. I let him go. Do his thing. Run after the catch. Make hard catches. But at the end of the day, what are we here to do? We're here to win championships. That's what we're here to do. So if you don't have an explosive receiver on his rookie contract or willing to take less, yes, he may be deserving of that top dollar, but will you take less to win another championship? Will you take less to be in the championship running like a Tom Brady, right? We talk about Dak Prescott all the time. Dak Prescott will never win a Super Bowl. He won't. Dak Prescott will never win a Super Bowl. You know why? He has too many offensive pieces. You can't be the top paid quarterback, have the top paid receiver, have the top paid receiver on one side, have a running back getting paid, a tight end, like the O-line, you got the best O-line in football. Like, it's not going to work unless you share the wealth with the defense. And that's what Tom Brady understood. Tom Brady said, I choose greatness over dollars, because greatness at the end of the day brings dollars. Legacy and my legend brings dollars. You win a championship, 2, 3, you won't be worrying about that paycheck because you'll be able to make money forever. But if as long as you, as an offensive player, and I'm not telling you to take less money, you got to feed your family, right? You got money to make, you deserve this much dollars and this much. But if you want a long-lasting legacy, because them numbers ain't going to last unless you Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice got 208 touchdowns, and ain't nobody got close yet. Ain't nobody got close. The game that opened up is you can't get hit, you can't press at the line of scrimmage, and none of you receivers still can't touch Jerry Rice. And Jerry got 4 Super Bowls on top of that. So the numbers are come and go, but them chips, they don't go nowhere. I'm telling you right now, you'll be Super Bowl champ forever. Now, luckily, JSN, he hit it in perfect timing. Got his chip and got paid. Blessings to you. Hey, hats off to you. Hey, look, I got my chip. I want my dip now. Hey, I ain't mad at you, JSN. Do your thing. But for some of you other guys, man, you gotta let the wealth go around, man. If you want the chip. If you just about the dollar, then go get your dollar. Go get your dollar. Hey, go get your dollar. But if you want to be a legend in this shit, like and I'm not telling you to do something I didn't do. When I was a free agent, I could have took more money to go somewhere else. But you know what I said? I'm going to Denver. We got Peyton Manning. All they need is me. Little did I know Akeem Talib was going to sign the next day. Little did I know DeMarcus Ware was going to sign the damn day. Little did I know Emmanuel Sanders was going to sign the next day. I said, look, I looked at that team. All they need is a TJ Ward. I'll take less money to go to Denver. And that's what I did. That's why I'm a Super Bowl champ. And I will go down as a legend. Whether you like it or not, whether you hate me or you love me. I could have had a lot of money with no chip. You would have forgot about me. But you can't forget about me because I'm going to remind you, I'm a champ. I'm a champ. So, hey, man, once again, that's just my theory. You going to like it, you love it, you agree, you disagree. But look, I only state facts. I'm not here for your feelings, man. I'm here for the facts, not your feelings. I tell you that all the time. So look, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Safety First Show, leave it in the comments. You hate me? Leave it in the comments. You love me? Leave it in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. I appreciate it all. I appreciate y'all watching, man.